Hi there, Joka here from A Pocket Full of Happiness, and in this video I'm going to show you a bunch of new products that are available in the shop today. And let's start with this one here called Animal Balloons. As you can see, there are a bunch of different animals, and they will have different layers that you can use. Then there is a 5x7-inch cover plate called Wheel of Fortune, then a sentiment called Celebrate, another one called Party Time. There's also some party hats with that one, and then there is Make a Wish that has a sentiment and some candles. Sorry about all the lint in those sleeves. I don't know, the magnet somehow or the magnetic sheet somehow attracts those as well. So let's start with this one. In one of the other videos I explained, but it might actually come later in my on my channel because I'm not doing the voiceovers in order, it seems. Although I think it was in the numbers background video, which will come earlier. So anyway, I explained why I add the white layer as well. It is a help for me to layer up the colors. I find it helpful, but obviously you don't need to do that. And here I'm just showing that if you want, you can add 2 colors, or actually many different colors with those dots, but I will not bother. I'm just using the solid layer for one color and then this polka dot layer for another color, but I'm not going to fill back in any kind of colors. But obviously you can make it colorful. However, the dots are not the same size, so that could be a bit of a challenge. So this is what I did. I die cut a lot of these animals, and there's a bear, a rabbit, and a cat. And then I used 2 different colors for each of them. And then I'm just also adding a solid layer of white cardstock to make it all even more firm. And then there is a few options here with the stripes. The bear and the rabbit have a striped option. So I die cut this layer from a bunch of colors, and then I will create some colorful balloons. I actually die cut it from more colors than needed. I think that was the number of colors that the rabbit needs, although I'm not sure. So I just created a variety of things. And then the rest that I had left over, because I did have some left over, I packed in these, what was this called again? Press and seal. I packed it in that so I can use it later. And what I decided to do later is add the white details, because to the left you see the highlights and to the right you see the shadows, basically. So I'm just adding the highlights. However, you could also just use a white gel pen for this if you don't want to spend time on this. And what I forgot to do, or maybe I didn't even, it's not that I forgot, I just didn't even think about it. I did not add the eye and the nose. You could also just color those with a black pen, or, you know, I did not add that detail, but you can go more detailed than I did here, is what I'm saying. And what else is there to know about this? Not much. So first, as you saw, I tried to just add glue to these spaces, and then put the dye over it, and then just press the shapes in there. But somehow I find it doesn't work for me that much, so I just go about it this way. You know, I just add a little glue to all these pieces and use my tweezers. Now, the first card here, I am creating a tone-on-tone sentiment. So the background is the same color as the sentiment, and then I make the sentiment really dimensional so that it pops out anyway, even though it's the same color. So I used, I think, 3 layers for each letter. I hope 3 or 4. And then I also just will use a bunch of balloons on this layout. I think it was a 5 by 7 inch card, and I'm also using this DMC thread. This is from the Spabinders shop, and instead of, because I actually, in the die set you also get I think 2 different shapes that you can use for the thread, but I like to add a different texture, so I like to add either twine or something like this, because this is actually thinner, so it's easier to work with it. And then I just wrap it around the balloons, and I use some double-sided tape for this, and I'm also covering that with a piece of copy paper, just because I want to move those balloons around on my background. I don't want them to be sticky just yet. And I kind of thought that that helps keep everything in place. So I'm adding my background. It's just slightly smaller than the card base, and then I'm going to try to figure out what I want to do with the balloons, how I want to arrange them. I try to not put the same color next to or close to each other, or the same animal, but since there's only 3 animals, that's not gonna work probably. And then my idea is that I'm going to wrap the thread around the letters, but I think I overcomplicated that, and it just did not look the way I imagined it, and it could be better. Or maybe I could have just left them like this, because I also like this kind of wavy, more organic look. In fact, when I first try to wrap the thread around the letters, they look okay, but then of course I start making all kinds of mess about it, but you will see that. And yeah, I mean, it's a learning process, I guess. You can just see here what you should not do. But it's okay. I don't know why I didn't want to leave them just hanging about there. So I am trying to create some more dimension here, and because of that I'm going to add a few foam tapes here and there, so that basically I have more rows of balloons. And other than that, it's actually just a very simple card. Once you do all the die cutting and all the gluing, that's the most time consuming part basically. And once you have all of those, and you can start working on your cards, you will see that they come together really fast. And then also, because I really die cut a lot, I die cut all the shapes from all the cardstocks that I chose. So it turned out to be way more than I needed. So I also ended up with a lot more cards than I intended to make. And what did I want to, oh yeah, that this video, because of that, this video is also super long, but I hope I can or the video helps you in some way. So you see, I wrapped those 2 threads around the P, and then I will keep lining up the letters, always checking what goes where before gluing everything down. First of all, obviously I want to look at the letters that I can wrap the thread around. So in this case, the next balloons are kind of over the T, so that's where I want to anchor them. And I am tying knots here because the thread was going in directions that I did not want it to go. So I was hoping that this changes that, but not quite. Plus the T, you know, I just needed a little bit of help so that that stays in place. And the next one I'm going to do on the Y. I'm sure you can do this much better than I did here. And yeah, my tweezers came in handy. I just cannot I cannot deal with things this small. I really need the tweezers. So I do not know. I don't remember why I did that, why I threaded that through the A. Maybe I'm actually going to, no, I thought yeah, I'm gonna remove it. I did remember this right now. I don't know why I did that. So I'm just going with the flow here and trying to kind of move the thread out of the way as well. I'm going to trim those later so that they are not all over the place. And now I'm going to wrap around or tie those threads around the remaining letters. Once done, I'm going to move on to my next card. I cleaned that up a little bit. I don't know what happened there, but I use that. It's kind of like an eraser that helps with little things like glue or whatever. So my next card, I am preparing the Celebrate sentiment for this one, and as you can see, it's the font that you guys all like. And this time I kind of arranged it a bit differently just so that it looks well, not all the same, and also kind of that you can use this in the center of the card and it's more, you know, but you see, it's not just one long sentiment basically, and also it's a bit bigger than the other ones, so it's a standalone thing. But I do exactly the same as always: 2 layers of the solid shape and then the outline shape, all from white cardstock, and then I die cut it again from gold, and I added the letters in gold. So basically same as on the first card, but this one is now a different orientation, and I will attach the balloons to the Celebrate sentiment, but I did go about it a bit differently, learning from the first one. I will actually just tie a knot around the whole bunch of balloons, and then I will kind of thread it through the letters. So first of all, I have to glue down all my balloons, and first layers I'm using liquid glue, and then the ones that pop out a little bit or pop off the page, they will have at least 1 layer of foam tape. Some will have 2 layers depending on what I have to add before them. And then I'm trying to arrange this again in a way that it has different colors, but as you can see, that doesn't always work. I even have 2 cats there, the same color, same, you know, everything. I wanted to use more of these striped balloons. I should have made more, I think. Yeah, and then once this is done, I am going to tie the knot around, or I don't know how to even put that, but just tie a knot or tie all of these threads together. First it was a bit challenging, even with the tweezers, but as you can see, I managed. And then I added some foam tape to my sentiment, and I left like a gap where I did not add that, so that I can just pull the thread through there. And originally I wanted to tie another knot, so like, you know, that it's all the balloons are tied to the sentiment, but then in the end I didn't manage to do that, so I just simply added or filled that gap that I left earlier. I filled it with foam tape, and that's done. So these little things, they are accessories in the die set. So there's like little bows and bow tie that you can add to the balloons, but I did not know originally that I'm not gonna use them. So instead of adding them to my balloons, I use them as a shaker element. And to create my card front, I'm using the Party Time die, and I die cut this from a blue cardstock and also from white because I want this card front to be sturdy. So I am now layering it up. I did not manage to die cut it in the same position on the card stock, so I am now trimming off the edges. It's not too bad. There was like a couple of millimeters difference, so that's totally fine. So I am using some acetate from Spellbinders. It's actually the Glimmer acetate. That's what I have. So it's really nice and thick. I'm adding a piece to back up the or to back that Party Time sentiment, and then I am starting to work on the design of my card front. And since I had a lot of these die cuts, I wanted to use up as many as I could, so I am covering the whole background with these, and they actually really fit very well into those nooks and crannies everywhere. So sometimes, you know, you have shapes that just don't really fill out the whole thing so well, but of course you can add little enamel dots or whatever in between them, but this was, I think these worked really well. So I am going to glue them down, and then I will trim off the excess. And in fact, well, like always, I am going to also use some of those that I trim off. To be honest, sometimes you don't even need as many die cuts as you imagine, because you use half of one on one side, and half of the other half you just use on the other half of the card. Normally I try to do that, but right now I just had so many anyway that it was all fine. Last minute decision. I changed that bear to a cat, and now I'm kind of done with it. Well, the main arrangements anyway, and then I'm trimming off everything. So actually I don't think I really needed to add anything to fill it up that much, but since I had them, I don't like to waste these things. Of course, the bigger pieces I will keep for a future project, but not the small ones. I always say for a future project, and then I probably never ever get back to it, because I don't know if I ever use a die again. I like to go with different colors, just so that even if the design is similar, at least the colors are different, so it all looks different. Now I'm using this tape that I actually wanted to use because I wanted to put some lights in there, but then I changed my mind because somehow it just didn't light up the whole thing the way I wanted it, and I did not want to waste more of the little lights than necessary, so I'm just going to use those on another project where it makes more sense. But then I had to use this tape, and now it's super dimensional because it's actually very thick, and I did like 2 layers. So I'm adding this, which I actually didn't know about, that it's a glow in the dark look. This is gonna be a really bad footage, but it's complete darkness now, and this is what it looks like. I just wanted to show you because I was so excited about it. I did not know that this was glow in the dark shaker elements. I think I noticed it because the stars were so weird, like the material was so weird, and it reminded me of those things that were glowing in the dark, really. So I was super giddy about it. And I'm gonna show you again what it looks like in the dark. But yeah, sorry about the footage, it's really crappy. Okay, so moving on, that card is done. So there is another, this is called Wheel of Fortune, this 5x7 cover plate, and another possibility to do a lot of inlaying if you like, or like me, you know, the onlaying. Again, I like to add these on top, and if you actually, you don't have to die cut this, the whole panel. The shapes are exactly the same. So basically what you could do, there is 12, right? 12 circles. You just, and I think there's also 12 sections in the circle. So you add 12 different colors, and then every circle you can create in a rainbow sort of design, which was actually originally what I wanted to do. But at this point, this was only my second video that I was working on, so I really had to make haste. So instead, I decided on a grid type of design. So some of the circles I added some of the colors to that I was not gonna use. So you know, the colors that I did not have in the balloons, basically. So, and then the rest, the white circles, I'm filling up with the balloons, if that makes sense. It's just like a grid type of design, and then I am adding the party, instead of party time, just party as a sentiment. And the letters, again, they are 3, they consist of 3 layers, I think. 2 layers of white cardstock, and then the gold layer. And that's it for this card, actually. And since I still had a lot of the balloons left, and I wanted to use the Wheel of Fortune background again, I die cut it from a really light pool type of color. And here what I'm trying to show you, but it doesn't really, I don't know, it's not very visible, is that the letters this time I created with color cardstock, and I also added a layer of the darker pool color cardstock, but kind of offset it a little bit, so it should be visible from, you know, when you look at it. Well, you will see in a bit, like here from this angle, if you look hard, then you can see it. In real life, I guess it's more visible than this, but okay. So this is the same concept, only this time I used even more simple background, so there's no inlaying, onlaying, nothing, and just one color. I think it still looks fun, that background. And of course, it doesn't have to be a birthday card with this background. That's what I like about geometric shapes, that you really can use them for anything and everything. And in fact, that would be a perfect background for a guy as well. I know that's always a problem. And that reminds me that my husband has birthday in like 5 days, and I did not make a card. And I will also not have time for a card. Oh God. Okay, well, anyway, so back to this. I hope I could give you some tips and some ideas with these die sets. I hope you like them. I know this video was quite long, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.